Hello children, I am Shachi Tandon from Chemistry. Today I am here with the class 8 topic. The name of the topic is Combustion Flame and Fuel Part 2. You can watch the part 1 of this chapter in the above I button. Children, before starting, I would like to remind you to subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed it. Like this video if you like it and share the video with your friends. So now let's see what we are going to discuss today. Children, we will study about conditions necessary for combustion. What are the conditions which are necessary for combustion? After that, we will study some activities to prove conditions necessary for combustion. Then we will see what are flammable substances. Then what is kindling temperature. After that, in the last, we will study how do we control fire. So children, first thing we will study what are the conditions necessary for combustion. So first thing which is necessary for the process of combustion is the presence of a combustible substance. Children, if a combustible substance is not there, the process of combustion will not take place. Second point is that presence of supporter of combustion. Children, even if you have a combustible substance, but the supporter of combustion, which is air or oxygen, is not there, the process of combustion won't take place. And the third point is there that attainment of ignition temperature or kindling temperature. That is also a very important point. For example, if you have a combustible substance, if you have supporter of combustion, means you have air or oxygen, but if ignition temperature or kindling temperature is not achieved, no combustion will not take place. So these are the three conditions which are necessary for the process of combustion. So this is the first activity we will discuss here to show that air is essential for the process of burning. Children, in this activity what we have taken a burning candle. So here you can see that a burning candle we have taken here. So this is the burning candle. And what we are doing here, we have placed a glass chimney. So I am writing here, this is a chimney. So here we have placed a glass chimney over the burning candle. So I am writing here, this is the burning candle. You can see here, this candle is burning. So what we have done, we have placed a glass chimney over the burning candle and this glass chimney has been placed over two wooden blocks. So what are these two things? These two are wooden blocks. So we have placed the glass chimney over wooden blocks. So what will happen if you are placing wooden blocks here? So it's quite understood that the air can enter through the bottom as well as from the upper side. So air can enter through below as well as from the upper side. So as there is abundant air, the candle will burn freely. Now what will happen in the second case? If you look the diagram carefully, you can see that the wooden blocks have been removed here. There are no wooden blocks. So what will happen? If you place a chimney over the burning candle without wooden blocks, the air can't enter through below. So you can see the candle starts flickering. Now what is happening in the third case? Third case, there is no wooden blocks, just like the second case, but from the top we have covered the top with a piece of wood, with a wooden piece. This is a wooden piece. With the help of the wooden piece, we have covered the chimney from the upper side also. So now there is no chance of going oxygen or air. So in the third case, the flame will be extinguished. So now with the help of this activity, you can prove that air or oxygen is essential for the process of combustion. If there is no air, there is no oxygen, the process of combustion won't take place. Now the same thing is being shown here in this activity. Here you can see that there was a burning candle. You have taken a burning candle here, and once an inverted glass, this burning candle is covered with the help of a glass. After some time you will find that this candle extinguishes. The flame extinguishes. The flame will be put off. So what is the reason here? The same reason is that there is no oxygen. As no oxygen or no air, combustion will not take place. No oxygen, or I'm writing here, there is no oxygen or air, no combustion. So now we can conclude that for the process of combustion, air or oxygen is very much required. So no air, no combustion. So with the help of this activity, it is very clear to us. Now, one more point is here. You can see that the first thing we do when a clothes of a person catch fire, we wrap around a blanket around that person. What is the purpose of putting this blanket here? The purpose of putting this blanket here, the blanket cuts off the supply of oxygen. So the clothes of the person which caught fire, the flame will be extinguished. So this is the another example. Now we will see attainment of ignition temperature or kindling temperature. This is the third condition which is very much required. So before discussing this thing, children, I would like to explain you about the ignition temperature or kindling temperature. So what is ignition temperature? What is kindling temperature? The lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire and starts burning is known as its ignition temperature, or it is also called as kindling temperature. So I would like to explain you again what is ignition temperature or what is kindling temperature. Ignition temperature is the lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire. So children, with this definition, it must be clear to you, until the ignition temperature is not reached, a substance will never catch fire. For example, you have a substance A. You have a substance A, and the ignition temperature of this substance, suppose it is 40 degrees centigrade. So you have, I'm writing here, you have a substance A. And what is the ignition temperature of this substance A, or what is the kindling temperature of this substance A? It is, suppose we are assuming that its ignition temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. Now, the temperature, room temperature is around 25 degrees centigrade. So what do you think? Will this substance A catch fire? Definitely not. The substance A will not catch fire. The reason is that its ignition temperature is not achieved. So when this substance will catch fire, if we start heating it and the temperature reaches 40 degrees centigrade, then it will start catching fire. So now it must be clear to you, what is ignition temperature? Ignition temperature is the minimum temperature at which a substance catches fire and starts burning. Now we will see what are inflammable substances. Children, some substances have very low ignition temperature and they can catch fire easily. These substances are called as inflammable substances. So what are inflammable substances? The substances which have very low ignition temperature, and that's why they can start burning easily. So example of such substances are white phosphorus, petrol, CNG, which is compressed natural gas, LPG, which is liquefied petroleum gas, alcohol. All these are the examples of inflammable substances. So these inflammable substances can catch fire easily because they have very low ignition temperature and they burn with the flame. Children, for explaining kindling temperature or ignition temperature, I would like to discuss one more activity here. This is a very simple activity, but I will not advise you to do this activity alone. You can do this activity in the presence of some elder person. So what we are doing here, we have taken two paper cups. Paper cups you can make simply by folding paper. So out of these two paper cups, one paper cup is filled with water. Suppose we have taken around 100 ml of water in the first paper cup. In the first paper cup, we have taken around 100 ml of water. And the second paper cup is empty, means no water is here. And then both the paper cups we have put on a burning candle. You will find that in the condition A. Suppose I am writing here, this is the case A, this is the case B. So you will find that in case A, the paper cup will not catch fire. In fact, you will find that if you keep on heating for a long time, the water will start boiling in it. What is the reason why paper cup is not catching fire? The reason is that whatever heat you are providing to paper cup with the help of a burning candle, that heat has been transferred to water so that the ignition temperature of paper can't be reached. And you know that for catching fire, ignition temperature of a substance must be reached. And here what is happening? You are continuously supplying heat to paper cup by heating with the help of a candle, but that supplied heat will be transferred to water. That's why ignition temperature of paper cup has not been reached, so it will not catch fire and water will start burning. Now in the second case, what will happen? As there was no water, once you start heating it, and immediately when the ignition temperature of paper is reached, the paper cup will catch fire and will start burning. So now we can see that a substance will not catch fire until the ignition temperature. Now we can see that a substance can't catch fire until its ignition temperature is reached. I hope this point is clear to you. All these points, whatever I have explained you, are mentioned here. Now, I am coming to the last topic. Last topic is that how do we control fire? Children, all of you might have seen in news channels or in movies, you might have seen what happens when a building catches fire. First thing what we do, we call fire brigade. So what a fire extinguisher comes. You can see with the help of this picture, when a fire extinguisher comes, it sprays water on the burning building. So what is happening here? When you are spraying water on the burning building, what will happen? Water cools the combustible material so that its temperature is brought below its ignition temperature. So what is the purpose of spraying water? There are two purposes. First purpose is that water cools the combustible material. So what will happen? Its temperature is brought below its ignition temperature. When the temperature is brought below its ignition temperature, so it will prevent fire from spreading. That is the first condition. Second thing is that water vapors. As we are spraying water on the burning building, water will convert into water vapors. And these water vapors surround the combustible material and helping in cutting off the supply of air. So the fire is extinguished. So this was the role of using water for extinguishing fire. Now, one more point I want to discuss here, children. Just now we have seen that there are three requirements for producing fire. What are these three requirements? These three requirements are fuel. Second requirement is air to supply oxygen, because oxygen is essential for combustion, and from where oxygen is supplied? From air only. And the third point is heat. What is the purpose of heat? The purpose of heat is to raise the temperature of the fuel beyond its ignition temperature. So now there are three essential conditions for producing fire. What was the first condition? First condition was fuel. Second condition was oxygen. And how oxygen is supplied? Oxygen is supplied with the help of air. And the third condition is heat. The purpose of heat is to raise the temperature of the fuel beyond its ignition temperature. Now, you want to control the fire. You can control the fire by removing either one of these three requirements or more than one requirements. So, what is the job of a fire extinguisher? The job of fire extinguisher is to cut off the supply of air. So what will happen? When the supply of air is cut off, the process of combustion will not take place. If the process of combustion will not take place, what will happen to temperature? The temperature of the fuel will be brought down. So that is the role a fire extinguisher is doing by spraying water. So what I was saying, that to control the fire, we can remove one of the conditions which is necessary for combustion, or more than one of the conditions we can remove. So one condition was to cut off the supply of air. How the supply of air can be cut off? Just now we have seen the fire extinguisher. It pours water on the burning building. Second thing is that suppose we are talking about to remove the fuel. Children, it is not possible to remove the fuel. For example, suppose a building is burning. What is the fuel there? The entire building is the fuel there. You can't remove a burning building. But what you can remove? You can remove the supporter of combustion. You can remove there. And what will happen if you remove the supporter of combustion by pouring water or by any other means? What will happen? The ignition temperature of the burning substance will also be brought down. So in this way we can control the fire. Children, once again in a very quick way, I want to re-explain you that as there are three conditions, three essential requirements for the combustion of a substance. What are these three essential requirements? First thing is that there must be a burning substance. If there must be a combustible substance, the first requirement. Children, again I would like to re-explain you this thing. There are three essential conditions for the process of combustion to take place. What is the first condition? The first condition is the presence of a combustible substance. If a combustible substance is not there, there is no question of fire. Second thing is that the supporter of combustion, which is oxygen, and from where oxygen is supplied through air. And the third condition is that the ignition temperature. So you can remove fire. Fire can be removed, or fire can be controlled by removing one or more of these conditions. So the job of a fire extinguisher is to cut off the supply of air or to bring down the temperature. Two conditions, two things a fire extinguisher can do. What are the two conditions a fire extinguisher can do? A fire extinguisher either can cut off the supply of oxygen or to bring down the ignition temperature. Because the first condition, the combustible substance, can't be removed in each and every case. For example, a building has caught fire. Here what is the fuel? The fuel is the entire building, and it's quite obvious that the entire building can't be removed. So I hope, children, all these points are very clear to you, and in my next video I will upload some important questions which are very important for you, not only from exam point of view but from your various competitive exams point of view, like the different Olympiads and some other exams. So children, in the end I would like to discuss whatever points we have covered today. Children, we have studied the conditions necessary for combustion. After that, we have studied some activities to prove the conditions necessary for combustion. Then we have seen what are flammable substances, what is kindling temperature, then how do we control fire. Children, I hope all these points are very clear to you. In the last, I would like to say thank you so much for watching my video. And one more point I want to discuss with you, children. Please subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed. The reason is that I am going to upload many more videos in future, so that if you subscribe my channel and you press the bell icon, you will get notification. Whenever I am going to upload a new video, immediately you will get a notification. So subscribe my channel and like this video if you haven't liked it, and share the video with your friends. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.